Good morning, Brian with Grand Roofing. We're going to talk briefly about repairability of a roof and the reputable contractors being expensive. Wait until you try the cheap guy or go the repair route when this roof should have clearly been replaced. So we're going to talk about various things with the valley, the quality of the repair. Should it have been repaired, taking into account the age of the roof? So let's just get into it because I'm cold. It's breezy and windy out. On that note, I apologize if you hear the wind. I don't have my dead cat with me. So this valley here has been replaced. This valley here has been replaced. There's been tabs repaired, pipe boots been switched out, various things going on this roof here where they've replaced. I can only imagine these were done over the last year or so. This home is a rental. The management people of this said, hey, we got this leak, we can't get fixed, we can come check it out. No one is home to see where it is. They just said it was on the backside. I imagine through here somewhere, this cobbled mess. So when you're looking at a possible repair, you got to first ask yourself, is it repairable, or is the roof seen its days and it's expired and just needs to be replaced? Because roofs get to a point where it's not repairable, it needs replaced. Look at this right here. Anyone that's got any kind of experience can look at this and be like, okay, that is an organic shingle. There's no fiberglass in it. Just for the sake of the video, let's break a little tab off right here. I mean, it's old, it needs replaced. Some of you are gonna say, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, but if it'll focus here, there's no fiberglass. That's organic matter. These shingles are old. They were discontinued, I believe, in like 2002, 1998 to 2006, various manufacturers. Early 2000s, they quit. This roof is old. This one over here, I do see fiberglass, so I'm guessing at some point this was an addition. But what I'm questioning is, whoever did this repair, you should have been like, okay, by the time you put the money into this repair, you probably won't be much more to actually just replace the roof. So I have a theory behind this, and then we're going to get into the quality of the repair too here. When people do repairs, typically they're not going to honor any kind of warranties if there's a leak, because it's a repair, right? You can only fix it as good as what it is. So given the age, I mean, I just see other stuff right here we're going to look at in just a minute. I'm like, I'm just blown away. The time it takes somebody to do this, they have very little overhead, very little labor. You're not sending a whole crew. It's usually a guy or two or a couple guys tag teaming aside. No warranty because it's a repair. That's a huge red flag right there. If somebody shows up, like if I show up and be like, this is not repairable, it's old, it needs replaced, here's the price, figuring replacing it, and you know, I got to be the bad guy now after they just dump the money into this, because the cheap guy trying to save money, completely pointless and wasted money down here. When there's not a whole lot of squarage left, they should have just replaced it. There's other things, I'm like, why? Let's just get into it. Walking around on this in various different areas, I see things that catch my eye, like a shingle nail, or a nail broke through it. Clearly I can see through the headlap of the shingle below it. Down here on this edge, I was looking at this repair, whoever did this, they didn't even offset the starter right here. This one, it's not offset. I'm like, okay, well that's pretty piss poor quality. The shingles are tearing when they're doing this. They're worn out. It's old. I mean, look at the quality of this. Just not good. You get up into here, you're relying on caulking to hold stuff together. That shingle there actually looks broken underneath completely. Any reputable roofing guy, roof installer should know basics like ridge cap. Typically here in our area, we run it east to west, north to south, so the predominant winds don't catch. So as the wind blows, it comes across these, doesn't catch under the tabs and lift them loose. Not a big deal. Some cases you have to invert them, right? So this is running the right way, but you never run down a slope into your ridge. It should switch and run up. Reason being, water coming down this right here is now pulling down under gravity, or because of gravity, going to go in between these. That's why they've caulked the first few of these. Just simple quality. They don't know what they're doing, or they just don't give a damn. And then whoever did the original roof, look at this. It's probably even worse. It looks like they've kind of cut tabs to piece in instead of doing it the right way. Nail pop right there in the middle. Keyway's not offset. Short tab, little tab, a cut in the shingle, short tab. If you're running 3-tab, honestly, don't be cheap if you're going to consider it. It needs to be discontinued. It's harder to install. On a serious note, most contractors, when a customer says, oh, hey, I want to do 3-tab because I want to save a few bucks, what they're thinking, and they're not going to tell you, is they just charge more on the labor side of it. So you might be saving $1 or $2 per bundle, but you're actually getting ripped on the labor. 3-tab's junk. It's not going to hold up. You're not saving anything. You're paying more. It's just bad. The install's slower. It's harder to make look good. So I'll show you some here. If this roof was installed right, you would not have those, because you typically would take the larger section, run it up, build your pattern up and over, and cross over. Then you're going to have to do some math and measure and back them down and fill your pattern in all the way down, or you have to be damn good at what you're doing, know the dimensions, and run it up so it ties in perfectly. That way you don't get cut tabs like that coming in together all cattywampus and crappy like that. Looking at this repair right over here, I noticed something else. The quality of whoever did it. If you don't reseal your new tabs to your old, if this is a top seal, meaning there's the seal strip of the new shingle, this is never going to stick. Let's look at some of these other ones here. No new sealer, no nail right there. No sealer under any of this, no nail in that. You know, that's common when they replace this top shingle. They might nail it, but they don't lift the one above to nail that. You can also see they tore the shingle going up kind of all the way to about here, close to this keyway. Not good. Again, it's just the quality of the repair, the quality and the cost of what you're getting versus just going a little bit more. I mean, right here, what, 15 feet, 20, 44, 5, 6 square on the front, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18 square maybe on this entire roof. I've heard people charging in my area anywhere from $800 to $2,500 to do a valley like this, or, you know, it really depends on the market. And I'll briefly touch on that too. Before I forget, look at this thing. It's an old asbestos chimney. I wonder if this might even have been the leak right here. You got rainwater coming right down the pipe here because it's not covered, at least this side. Going right in here into your mechanical room on the back side of the house. They're doing all this, and they're not even addressing the one simple root cause that could be the issue, on top of the fact that the roof is old. It's seen its life. Just like you and me, we have a life expectancy. We haven't figured out how to crack the fountain of youth, the code for that, and then live forever. Roofs don't live forever. Quit being cheap and thinking that the cheapest roof is going to be the best job and it's going to last you all your lifetime, because it's not. They wear out. And if you want a good long-lasting life shingle, maybe you need to think about investing in something a little bit better. Some sort of steel, terracotta, clay, something better. And just because it's better doesn't mean it's going to be installed good too. So you need to be cautious of that. Reputations also, I want to briefly touch on that. Whoever did this, they should have been like, dude, your roof is old, we don't want to touch it, you need to replace it, just bite the bullet, replace it. Because now they're in for all the money of this repair on both sides and everything they've done, and it's crap. It still needs to come off. So I got to be the bad guy and say, your roof is junk, it's old, it's expired, it's well past its life expectancy. 3-tab shingles, 20-year life expectancy warranties. 3-tab, or I'm sorry, organic, we know it's organic because we looked at that up there. I believe they were discontinued in the range of like 1998 to 2006, usually around 2002 or so. Here we are in 2024. It's past its life. All right, it's old, it's gone. Should have never been repaired, should have been replaced. I don't know. Reputation means a lot, okay? If you're gonna use somebody because they're cheap, you gotta question is, am I gonna get a cheap job and then pay for it twice? So is the cheap guy really cheap? Comparing estimates, apples for apples, because of somebody's reputation, they're probably gonna cost more. In my area, I'm not the cheapest by any means. I'm not the most expensive. Actually, I can prove I'm not, but I'm up there. With that being said, just 45 minutes south of here, into a couple counties over, I'm actually really cheap and been told I'm the cheapest, and I'm like, okay, I really gotta bump my prices up. Not because I want to, but because I've lost a lot of work, people thinking I'm the cheap guy and don't know what I'm doing. Now, those people might have a little better thought in that process, but they fail to look up the reviews and understand differences in markets. So in my area, a lot of people are mom and pop. They don't have all the crazy overhead of big companies that have all the salesmen, receptionists, brick and mortar, all that craziness that comes along with it. I mean, salesmen is a big part of it. They charge big bucks. They're usually pretty high pressure. They're typically pulling the, well, since we're in the area, we can give you a better discount. We can give you a discount of 20% or Christmas discount, or buy this, get a vacation, get a deductible, eating, all these little tactics. And one of my best ones that I've come across to know is the homeowner state, because I've come in behind them, you're like, wow, you're a lot cheaper. And I'm not talking a little cheaper, I'm talking like thousands, tens of thousands cheaper. And if I didn't get it, I guess fine, but man, that's pretty shady. Salesmen will be like, hey, this is all I can do. Then they're really pestering. And typically the appointments are anywhere from an hour to 5 hours long, seriously, usually insurance related. And one of the things I hear is they're like, okay, let me go out to my truck and call my boss. So they go out there, 30 seconds later, well, my boss said if you sign today, we can knock off another X thousands of dollars. Red flag right there. All right, anyway, you get to a point where a roof just needs to be replaced. So, wow, 10 minutes, I'm babbling on this one. I gotta wrap this one up. This roof, it should have just never been repaired. It should have just been replaced. So guys, if you're thinking about putting some money in repair, how old is your roof before you consider that? And then who are you considering do it? And then also further, if you get an estimate for replacement or repair, it doesn't matter, make sure it's in writing. I've seen a lot of craziness where people get a new roof and there's nothing on paper, and they got a new roof. It's a shitty roof installed right over the old. It's never been tore off. So make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Have it all spelled out on some form of estimate, document, something. And if they don't even take the time to at least write it out or create some sort of professional PDF file of it, question, are they reputable enough to do the job the right way? All right, until next time, be safe. We'll see you on the next one.